Hey, good afternoon and welcome to Glue Wednesday. Now, I'm on 5 minutes early to give Facebook a chance to do what they call build the audience. Everybody has a different philosophy on what you should do when you go live. And a lot of people say you should wait till it's your time, the schedule. But what I decided is that since my scheduled time is at 1 o'clock, and you may have said, oh yeah, let me know when Sporty goes live. So at 1 o'clock, you get the announcement Sporty's live. And you may be in the middle of doing something else. I forgot about that. Oh, let me finish this up and rush. So I come on 5 minutes early. I always say 3 to 5 so that you can say, oh my God, that's right, Sporty's. Okay, excuse me, let me set this up and get back to it. That way you don't miss anything. But I'm also trying something new today. I scheduled it to be live on my YouTube channel as well. So far, I don't see that it made it there. But you know me, I always got to do some new technology, right? So we'll see what happens, and we'll see if I end up being live on YouTube as well, because I'm definitely live on Facebook, as I can see that. So we've got less than 4 minutes to go. But if this is your first time on the broadcast, Glue Wednesday started in 2017 when I looked at the fact that the cliche was that Wednesday was hump day. And so it had the connotation of hump. Hey, Yolanda, what's happening? Okay, yeah, I'm trying something new. And see, I can see on my Facebook feed, that's why you'll see me look off and back. But so I'm also checking to see if this thing is actually working where I'm live on YouTube, and actually I think I am. I see a camera through, but I don't see a live feed. So I wonder. I'll have to learn that technology. Sometimes I go through. Oh, it almost did it, but it didn't. Okay, but anyways, so Glue Wednesday comes from. Oh, it is on. Yay! Oh, this is so cool. Right, I'm on. Let me see if I can click on and go live. I think I am. Oh my God, I did it, y'all. I did it. I'll have to learn that. All right. Very cool. Y'all, I'm doing technology. I am doing technology. So I got it going live on YouTube as well. So I'll be able to see anything that comes in the feed as well over there. Oh, this is cool. And then also, because I'm using what's called StreamYard, and I've got less than 2 minutes for our message to start, because I'm using what's called StreamYard, I'm going to get a tape delay here on Facebook as well as on the YouTube channel. So every now and then, because Wednesday is my interactive day, I do 3 broadcasts a week. Monday I do MMM, the Monday Morning Moment, which is just a 1 to 2 minute inspirational message. Friday I do Gift Friday, and that's God is for today, and it's a 10 to 12 minute inspirational message where I share my poetry. And on Wednesday is my interactive day, which is usually a 30 to 45 minute session. And so that's why I call it Glue Wednesday, because everybody used to say the cliche was that, Wednesday is hump day. And I say, well, you know what? Wednesday is actually the middle of a traditional 7-day week that keeps the week beginning and the week end together. So Wednesday is the glue. And the glue, as you can see, we're in prayerful mode. GLUE, God's love undoes everything. Not that God's love will tear things apart, but that which is torn apart, God's love will bring it back together. So that's why I got the Glue Wednesday thing going on. And now, I'm kicking it now. I got Yolanda. And hey, what's up, James Cool? Or Cool James, my man, homeboy. Good to see you. Because I like I say, I got my monitors going now, y'all. Get up to date on your technology. I could be a little bit better, and I will. But that's what you want to do. We got less than 1 minute to go for today's message. And bam, the 1 minute is gone. Also, the reason I come on early is so I can do this, so I can do my shout outs and then post them up there. I'm good, James. I'm good, man. Good to see you. And Yolanda, if you want to post something in there, I could get your comment on the screen, because I just met Yolanda at a Yellow Ribbon Reintegration Program weekend. Where were we? Were we in Charleston or were we in Tennessee? I mean, Atlanta, okay? But just met her, so it's good to have her on board. Roger Carroll, good to see you. Yeah, everybody. And hey, everybody. Yeah, everybody speak. Roger Carroll just got her new emoji or avatar, as they call it. So she's on the case. And she said, grateful for God's love. Amen. And then for God's love, ain't nothing wrong with right. Oh, grateful or God's love. But check this out. You know what I like to do. I like to say, control your vocabulary rather than allowing your vocabulary to control you. And sometimes when you make what everybody else calls a typo, you have to see it as a type. So this is what God meant. So check this out. I make it work for you. Grateful or God's love. Hey, everybody, grateful or God's love. And she said, oops, I meant to write grateful for God's love. But check it out. You have to be grateful, or God's love may not be your source of love. See, so that is what it's all about. Sometimes because we speak in incomplete sentences, so that's something you could say. I just made that up on the fly, Roger Carroll. You know I'm rolling. It didn't really have to go. And what's up, Vic? And thank you for saying hello to Yolanda. Thank you to my new person. So thank you, Yolanda, for being on board. Hey, let's get rolling with today's message, because I actually did a little switcheroo on y'all, even though it's God's love. When you got the message, it said, as we open up the month of October, let's look at the last 3 letters and see that we're in the second of what I call the BER Months. The BER Months. And it's funny because when I originally, I had a couple of mind changes. When I originally thought of this, I was thinking about how in Chicago, when it's cold, I would say burr, and so that's always my joke, is that I've retired from winter. Okay, so there's no burr. So that was going to be my original thought. Then I said, wait a minute. Let me look at the BER month. Says first of all, Septem, Octo, Novem, and Decem, all the BER months. But then I thought about it, and I decided that when I sent you the promotion, I said it's our beliefs, our expectations, and our regrets. Do we need to talk about that? And then just today, I said, you know what? I have to give it a little positive twist, and I'm going to call it beliefs, expectations, and refresh. And you're going to see why refresh can replace regrets, which is also what made me go back on that comment that you had put in there, Roger Carroll, because I'm in the mood for changing our English up. All right. So let's first start out with a fun literacy fact. First of all, though the word BER, B-E-R, BER is not an actual word, it does have several well-used meanings. Okay, in aviation, BER is BER, beyond economical repair, and it refers to the state wherein the estimated repair cost of an item or unit exceeds more than 75% of its replacement value. Translate that into the automotive industry to take care of that 75 that we want to try to picture. Following an incident where your car has been damaged, your car may be deemed BER, beyond economic repair. This means that the estimated cost of repairing your car exceeds the replacement or market value. See, so there's a fun literacy message for you of what BER can actually mean. So a lot of times when we use words, and that's why I say control your vocabulary, don't allow your vocabulary to control you. Sometimes when you make a typo, write it down and go look it up. And say, wait a minute, did I really make a mistake, or did I actually have a thought that could not always be put into words, or the words that I was thinking? So it's always about stretching yourself a little further. So BER actually does have some terms. Now there's some other terms on there that I didn't use. If you want to Google it and go on, I don't think that anything earth-shattering that you need to be worried about. But here's what I decided to do with our BER. I chose those because we often have to decide how to handle our BER, our beliefs, our expectations, and our refresh. Because how do we refresh? Like I said, I decided to take away regrets and turn it to refresh. So I've taken a few words that end in BER, and then I cross-referenced them with our BER. So and I went going alphabetically. I didn't use the whole alphabet, but the first one I used was BER. The B, I used backstabbers. Backstabbers. All right, and I use backstabbers because, and that correlates with the R, with refresh. Why does we correlate with the R? Think about it. When you trust someone and they break that trust, you have to decide what's going to happen next, including deciding that you will make that choice. See, so that's why, you've got a choice to make now when someone has backstabbed you. How will you refresh? See, originally I had it as regret, so I wanted to say, you can't have regrets, and you may regret having this person in your life and they did this and that to you. But how will you refresh the relationship? That's something that you've got to think about and decide how you're going to do it. So what we got there, I see we got a comment from somebody. Made it. Okay. Let's see. We got another comment. And welcome, Vic. Welcome all to the Sporty family. I'm going to put that up there, right, because I like that. All right, but welcome all to the family. Yeah. So once you get backstabbed, you have to decide how are you going to refresh the relationship. BER. And it actually takes us to the next letter, and that's the C. And the C is that the answer can sometimes just be the caliber. The caliber, and that's the B, that's your beliefs. The caliber of your friendships, the quality of the relationship will make it more, it's the quality of the relationship that makes it more than a one-size-fits-all decision. See, so how you decide to refresh is not an instant answer. So if you've ever had that tough situation, somebody said, well, I don't know if you should do this. If I were you, I would do that. You don't know. It's a tough decision. So I want you to relax, and that's why if we go back to it, I want to say forgive yourself and be patient with yourself as you look to figure out what you're going to do to refresh the relationship, because it's not a one-size-fits-all. The quality of your relationship makes it more than a one-size-fits-all decision. It makes it hard. So what you have to do is slow down and think it out. Yet, don't regret having trusted the person that backstabbed you. Never, and that's why I say don't have regrets. You did what you did, but you should never have regrets. And never is a strong word. Never is a strong word. So, but if you can go shoot for it, I say shoot for it. It's doable. All right. And then we know, because we know that, forgive and forget. A lot of people say, you got to forgive and forget. But I say forgive and forget, yet the penalty still applies, as we learn in the book of Judas 1:1. Okay, what you got, Vic? Look at that. I didn't even set it up for that. I try to forgive as much as I can. And so there's, like I said, there goes what we learned from the book of Judas 1:1. Forgive and forget, yet the penalty still applies. Now, what do I mean by that? First of all, how many of you said the book of Judas? Yeah, Judas didn't have a book in the Bible. No, he did not. And that's my point, okay? And that, you forgive and forget, but there's still a penalty. See, Judas's job, his calling in his life was to betray Jesus. Once he did it, it wasn't like, now all this time we've seen, forgive and forget, how often I show you? 70 times 7 and blah, 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 turn the other cheek. We've heard all of that. But guess what? As soon as Judas betrayed Jesus, it wasn't, okay, Judas, you can go into the pearly gates. No, he took his life by suicide. He realized what he had done. And so he was now erased. There was a penalty for him betraying Jesus. But Jesus still loved him. He forgave him. And remember, he even said, go, do what you have to do. When they were at the Last Supper, he said, go, because this is your calling. This is what you've been put in this world for. Go do it. But then once he was finished doing it, well, now the rest of his destiny was to try to give the money back that he had taken to betray Jesus and then kill himself. And then the people who gave him the money, see, there's the backstabbers, they didn't even take it because they said, we can't take back, this is blood money. And then they use it to build Potter's Field, okay? So that's why I always laugh when I say to people, look at the book of Judas 1:1 if you want to see how to forgive. Forgive and forget, but the penalty still applies. So how you decide to mend that relationship or where that relationship is going, you still need to not walk around thinking, trusting them and they're not going to do this again to me, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. It's not walking around with a chip on your shoulder. That's not what it is. But it's recognizing that you have to monitor what your behavior was. Because I say if you don't like the way somebody treats you, you change the way you allow them to treat you. You don't necessarily have to cut them off. So just got a lot of options. And so let's keep on going down the alphabet, because the next letter is D, and the D is for the disturber. Disturber, and this walks right into it, because this is also where we want to talk about refreshing. How do you refresh when someone has backstabbed you and they've disturbed you? Well, the disturber is who? It's the devil. And that's why I say to you, evil is one letter short of the devil, yet when you turn it around, you have lived. You'll have lived. And the question is, will you? And if you can look at that and you can see devil spelled backwards, or actually live spelled backwards, is devil. See, you got to play with the English language. Good point, Vic. There are consequences for every action. And P.S., by the way, let's also recall and remember that the word consequences is not a negative word. You can have positive consequences as well. It's just that we tend to call them positive outcomes, but they are still consequences. Every action has a reaction and a consequence, good or bad. So our disturber is evil, and that's the devil is the disturber. But if you turn devil around, you will have lived. And that's the question. Will you? Will you live, or will you keep holding on? See, now we pull all of those together when we talk about the backstabber and the disturber. Now we pull all of that together and recognize that, yeah, forgive and get, but the penalty still applies. Yeah, but, you have to keep on with your life. And you have to keep on with other people in your life as well. So a lot of decisions that we have to make, but that's the joy and beauty of being who we are. Cool in the gang? All right, so that's how you refresh. See, that's the key. It's how we're looking for solutions. Originally, that was going to be a regret, but I turned it to a refresh. So that's how you refresh, is by living your life. Because evil cannot do what? It cannot beat you one-on-one. Now, I'm not taking the alphabet. I did B, C, D, and E, but now I'm going to jump some letters in the alphabet and go to the M, because the the next BER is member. Because even as we look at evil and the backstabbers and the disturber, you have to recognize that you are a member of what? You are a member of God's family. You're a member of God's family. What are your expectations as a member of God's family? I say that your expectation should be that you pray in faith, not fear. That's the expectation. And that's why, you pray in faith, not fear. You will have lived, and you will have recognized that you are a member of God's family. So be that member and have expectations of God. He wants you to. God wants you to have it. That's why when we pray, like if ever you've gotten a message from me when somebody says so-and-so died, so-and-so's in hospital, please pray for them. And I always say, praying in faith, not fear, for your smooth recovery at a time where speed cannot help. Why? Because a lot of people say, wishing you a speedy recovery. And I'm word sensitive. I don't wish you a speedy recovery, because a speedy recovery might not be a recovery. So I wish you a smooth recovery. If it turns out fast, great, but I want you to recover. And I'm praying in faith, not fear, not, oh God, please take care of him. I'm like, oh God, please take care of him. See, that's the difference. It's your demeanor, it's your tone when you pray in faith, not fear. And that's an expectation that you should have as a member of God's family. Because that's what you are, is a member. So let's stay in the alphabet. We go from the M to the N. What's a word? Oh, I should almost quiz y'all. What's a word that begins with N that is a BER word? Let's take a minute there and see. Yeah, and you know what? I'll give you a heads up, because maybe it's too hard. Maybe it's not fair right on the button. If you come up with an N word, fine. But two other letters. Other letters I'm going to use. I'm going to use the O, the R, and the S. So if you can think of a word that has a BER at the end of it that begins with those, let's see. Never is not BER. I can say. It has to end in BER. BER. Oh, maybe you pronounce it like the Puerto Ricans on our blocks, right? Never. Okay. We grew up with some wonder what my Puerto Rican brothers was happening. All right. But you know what? The good thing is, that's another thing about your vocabulary. It's alliteration. You make it rhyme. Never. That's a good one, Vic. All right. So but anyway, here's the word, and it's number. Number. And the reason I associate number with beliefs is because just like I talked about praying and faith, see your number, I'm asking you, how strong is your faith? What number? How strong is your faith? Have you ever said, oh, I can't take another thing on my plate? That's a number. I can't take another thing on my plate. My plate is full. And then an hour later, you're encouraging a friend by saying, oh, you know God wouldn't give you more than you could handle. Well, which is it? Can you not take another thing on your plate, or do you believe that God wouldn't give you more than you can handle? See, in terms of how my numbers go, if I've got 12 things on my plate and thing number 13 comes, because I think 12 is the maximum, right? 12 disciples, 12 months, 12 days of Christmas, right? So if I've got 12 things on my full plate and thing number 13 comes, I look at it, I say, man, I'm a bad dude. I thought I could only handle 12. I can handle 13? See, that's my faith in the numbers. Why? Because my faith says that when thing number 13 comes, God is going to take away number 7 and number 8. Because 7 is the number for completion, 8 is the number for new beginnings. See, where are the numbers in your belief, and how are they working for you? And also I say to you too, and I always say to my speaking engagements, especially with my military, so they may have, oh, I heard him say that, now it gets refreshed to hear it again. When thing number 13's come, if my plate is so full, I switch to a platter. That's what my faith is about. My faith is number 1. I switch from a plate to a platter because I want to be able to put everything on my plate that God sends me, because I know God would not send me more than I can handle. So I just have to make room sometimes for what he's sending. And so do you. See, sometimes we don't make room for the gifts because we're holding on to the pain. We're holding on to that backstabber. We're holding on to the disturber. See, we need to make room by letting that go. By doing what? Forgiving ourselves and refreshing ourselves so that we can go forward. All right. Okay. And very good. So Vic did come up with what? October, but that's already one of the BERs. That's already October. So okay, but at least you're playing the game. All right. So that's the number. Recognize that you can handle the numbers, and that's why it moves us to the O. Here's what the O stands for. Outnumber. Outnumber. And this goes back to your faith and what your belief is. Outnumber. See, you have to recognize that, just like they say, death comes in threes, bad things comes in droves. See, evil can't, go back to the disturber, evil can't beat you one-on-one. A lot of things have to come. That's what the plate being full. A lot of bad things have to come to get you down, because you can beat any problem one-on-one. But it's when we have the misconception of thinking that there's so many things coming that we can't handle it all. And why do I call it a misconception? Because what we do is we forget how long it took for those things to boil and become a distraction. And we want an instant solution for something that took a long time to get it. One of the things you want to do when you have them problems and challenges, you got 5 of them at the same time, do not give 5 of them equal attention. Do not. Give them, you got 5, they each get 20%. Or even better, give them 10% and then give 10% to 5 positive things. Do not give your full attention to one problem, because you can't solve it. You have to give it its commensurate amount of attention so that you can be focusing more attention on the solutions as well as the problem that may come from the problem. And see, you may be able to have the solution to avoid that problem, which will then help solve this problem. That's why I said you got it earlier. I said slow down and think about it. So outnumber is important. What do we got in a comment there? Yes, thank you, Vic. But here's what I want to do. I want to give us some scripture to outnumber, to show just how much belief plays a role in this. And especially since we're doing God's love, Glue Wednesday. And I went to the Bible, and I went to 2 Kings 6:14 through 17. Now, some background on it is there's a guy named King Aram, A-R-A-M, and he's at war with Israel. But every time he decides to send his soldiers to attack Israel, they escaped. Why? Because the prophet Elisha, because there's an Elijah, but this is Elisha, was getting a message from God of where Aram was sending his troops to attack them. And then he would tell them, don't go there, Aram's army is coming in and attack, and they would get out. Well, Aram thought that one of his soldiers, he thought he had a backstabber. He thought he had a spy in his midst telling them where he was going to be attacking. And he was getting ready to be mad at his soldiers and his confidants when they said, no, it's not us. There's no traitor among us. Elisha is getting the word from God, and he's warning them. So that's the background. And so when he told his men it was Elisha, he sent his men to go capture Elisha so that he could get him out of there. And this is how you'll see outnumber comes into play. So even though I gave you 2 Kings 6:14 through 17, I'm going to be reading 17. Okay? And it says, so one night the king of Aram sent a great army with many chariots and horses to surround the city. When the servant of the man of God got up early the next morning and went outside, there were troops, horses, and chariots everywhere. Ah, my Lord, what will we do now? He cried out to Elisha. Don't be afraid, Elisha told him, for there are more on our side than on theirs. Then Elisha prayed in faith, O Lord, open his eyes and let him see. The Lord opened his servant's eyes, and when he looked up, he saw that the hillside around Elisha was filled with horses and chariots of fire. See, outnumbered is about your belief. There are more on your side than there are on the devil's side and on evil side. That's what you've got to believe. That's why they say, oh, good one, Vic. Oh, go on, Vic. That's why they say, oh God, I lost my train. But there's always, that's why I say God is good all the time, because there's always more on your side with God than there is on evil side without God. So you have got them outnumbered, and that's a belief. And here's the funny part. This is what's cool, because the next letter is R, and Vic wrote remember. So what do you have to remember? Yeah, you have to remember everything that we've talked about. That's for sure. That's one of the things, sure, right? But check this out, Vic. Bam! You were right. Remember is my next word. You have to have an expectation. You have to remember. Right now, we've got all of the holidays coming up. So you've got to remember the important people in your life, celebrate those holidays with them. And like I'm going to go back and forth and show, yeah, Vic was right there with me. Remember, I'm going to give him that credit. I want to put it up there again for you. All right. So that's good. All right. But what I say also with remember is that you have to remember to share your love with the people who you love. And we think about all the things that we've talked about, all the BER that have been in our life, and how they come and go, and how we control how they come and go as well. So I like to say that one of the things we want to do as we think about all the holidays that are coming up, because I know you won't guess the word that I have for the S. Do I have did I do it? Yeah, because I'm sorry. Let me finish something with the expectations and remember. The holidays is when we remember this important people and we want to give them gifts and share the meal and remember how God has been with you always. See, that's there. Let me slow down and get to some comments in the box, because y'all always have good comments. Yeah, remember. What do you remember in the BER months? And we're talking about the BER month, which you never thought about in that way before. And there's no other grouping of the months, the airy months, because you got January and February. And then you can have the Y months with what? January, February, and May, and July. And then you can have the June months with JU for June and JU for July. You know, so there's a lot of ways we can be creative about what we have to do. All right. So Vic wrote sober, and he wrote it twice. So why? Because do you have to remember to be sober? Absolutely. Vic, I must have sent you my playbook. Yeah, you have to remember that to be sober. That's an expectation. And here's a double meaning for it. Number one, yeah, you don't want to be drunk, but also you want to be sober, because it goes back to what Roger Carroll said. Remember how God has been with you always. That's a very sobering fact. And you have to be about your mind and your wits to understand that. There's the outnumbering again. See, you have to be sober and say, wait a minute, I know I got this. And don't hide behind liquor. You know, we just finished Mental Health Awareness Month, September, but sometimes the depression, when people will go and hide behind liquor and drugs, is a part of their depression. No, you have to be about your right mind for all the decisions that you have to make, because you got a lot of tough decisions to make in your life. So you definitely have to be sober. And then as in your sobriety, appreciate and enjoy what you've got. Because that's when you really will. It's, you know, somebody, if you're out of your mind, you don't even appreciate and enjoy what you have and who's around you. So a letter I didn't tell you. So Vic, you got 2 in a row. Remember and sober. But here's also why I want to say you have to stay sober. We don't need you to be drunk during these holidays. Be careful, because the other BER is Uber. See, so if you do get drunk, get an Uber. And that takes all of the beliefs, expectations, and how do you stay refreshed. Yeah, you know, to get sober, but take an Uber. In other words, and we're talking about the physical, if you get too drunk and you can't take care of yourself and go get a ride home. But how about also about the fact that we have to help let other people drive for us every now and then. See? You gotta, you know, take your time and recognize you're not in this alone. And you gotta get out of the driver's seat sometimes and be the passenger. Let people help you. A lot of times we have problems as adults getting help because we don't want to ask for help, because we decide that asking is begging. And we've got this pride thing, instead of recognizing that asking for help is not begging. Asking for help is saying, okay, I've driven, I'm tired, why don't you take over the wheel now? Because, you know, we've all got different things. I'm not familiar with this neighborhood, but you've got it. I don't want to drive in the night, so you do. You see, let somebody else take over and let somebody else help you. And so that's the Uber analogy there. You know, just be the passenger sometimes and sit back and relax. And so like you say, Vic, I got your messages coming in, and that's a blessing. See, that's the thing, is when you can take your time and get the message. That's why you have to choose your messages carefully, because their messages are being delivered. So take your time and get the message, soak it in. Say, you know what, that works for me, or it does not. And it's okay if it doesn't work. That's the way I always tell people all the time. You know what, if I'm not your messenger, I'm okay with that. But I asked you to get a messenger. You know, look at what parts of my message do you not like, so that you can get a messenger, because we all need somebody else. We all need to be able to get in that passenger seat. So beliefs, expectations, and refresh yourself. BER. It's something that we deserve, and it's something that we get to do, but we've got to be sure that we receive it and that we can handle it the best way we can. I'm Sporty King. Thanks for watching, engaging, and thanks for joining Glue Wednesday. Remember that, well, actually don't remember, I got to tell you this. I got Glue Gift Friday coming up, and it's usually at 1 o'clock. It's going to be at 11 o'clock. I'm switching Gift Friday to 11 o'clock on Fridays. And if you're not familiar, that's God is for Today. I will be sharing one of my poems. It's not the interactive that we're doing right here. I will be sharing one of my poems, and then I will have a link for you to go and get a PDF that you can download, and that's be my gift to you. And so then Monday, I've already started. 2 weeks ago, I started Monday Morning Moment at 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern. So make sure you tune in and get that. That's a 1 to 2 minute inspirational message that can just get your Monday started off for you. And then we'll be right back here next Wednesday on Glue Wednesday. Oh, you didn't know I started it, Roger Carroll? Yay! Y'all asked, right? I surveyed, y'all asked and answered. I started it. So yeah, now go back and retroactive it. And what you can also do is you can also catch these on my YouTube channel. And I'd love you to go there and subscribe anyway. But that way you'll see them in a nice row where you don't have to scroll down between Facebook posts. And because I repost all of these, I load all of these up to my YouTube channel as well. So, and yay, no matter how you spell it with an A or an E, I love it. Thank you, and excellent once again. You'll be there, Vic. Great. Thank y'all so much. But remember, we've got all these things going on, and sportyking.com is where you can always connect to me. If you're looking for a speaker to deliver an inspirational, educational, and fun message such as this, creative, something different, then I'm your guy. Or you can pass that along to somebody else who's looking for a messenger as well. But doesn't matter if you don't hire me for a speaking engagement. Share the message and make sure it works in your life, because we all have to take care of our beliefs, our expectations, and we have to find ways to refresh ourselves, because it makes a difference, because you do. Thanks so much for joining me. God bless you, and over and out. Ciao. Now, because of the tape delay, I'm going to take a minute and just see. Okay, we're good. All right, and it is a wrap. Oh, what'd you say, Book? Travel Cruise needs you. Okay, see, I knew it just holding there for a second. Yeah, and Vic, I'm glad you said that. I had a woman, I was at I did a speaking engagement a couple of weeks ago in Charlotte, and she said she's going to book me to do her family reunion, and it's on a cruise. Ha! So yeah, see, you have to be creative in all that you're doing. I'm not just talking about hiring and booking me, but be creative in what's going on in your life. Because right now that's what's going on, is people are trying to be creative and make things work for them. So you get to do that as well. So again, sportyking.com is where you can reach me, right here on Facebook as well. I'm going to reposting this on YouTube again, so you'll get to see it. So thanks so much. God bless you, and I'll catch y'all soon. Ciao.